To overcome, you must educate. Educate not only yourself, but educate anyone seeking to learn. We are all dead America. We can all learn something. To learn, we must challenge what we already understand. The way we do that is through conversation. Sometimes we have conversations with others. However, some of the best conversations happen with ourselves. Reach out and challenge yourself. Let's dive in and learn something new right now. Today we are speaking with Dr. Robert Wolf. He is the author of Not a Real Enemy. This is a real exciting book that he wrote. Robert, to start off, could you please introduce yourself? Let people know just a little more about you, please.
Well, hi, Ed. How are you? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Very grateful. Thank you so much. I'm Rob Wolf. I'm a radiologist and an author. Turns out I'm an author the last few years. I've been doing radiology for 35 years. I still work part-time from home, Wednesdays and Thursdays, doing X-ray and ultrasound. I was born in Detroit, raised in suburban Michigan by my mom and dad. My dad, who's the hero in the book, ended up, here's the punchline, he ended up delivering 10,000 babies in the Detroit area as an OBGYN after he redid his residency in Boston, after he'd done it, gone through medical school and residency in Hungary. Both of my parents were from Hungary. They emigrated in 1956 after the Hungarian Revolution. We can talk more about that. And just wanted out after two wars, endless persecution, murders, just a lack of civil rights, both under the Nazis and the communists. So I went through 12th grade in Michigan, and then I was fortunate enough to go to Tufts University for undergrad in the Boston area, and then University of Michigan Medical School back in my home state, which was a great experience. And then I went to Boston University affiliate, Framingham, known for the Framingham Heart Studies, Framingham Union Hospital for my internship. Did my radiology residency at Brown and my neuroradiology fellowship at Yale. So now I'm 30 years old, and my indentured servantry years are over. So I finally started making a living at 30. Been in the radiology business since 1989 when I first started my residency. And here we are. I've been back and forth to New England, lived half my life in New England, half my life in Michigan, and now I'm in southern Florida for since 2019, so 5 years now. I got down here just before the COVID. I've got a lot of interests. I'm interested in history, of course, the book, and I like sports and music. I'm a foodie. I like fitness, golf, all kind of history, travel, meeting people, and with this book, I'm doing just that. So I can't say I'm living the dream, but I'm busy, and I'm trying to stay busy, and I'm fighting anti-Semitism at the same time with all these messages in my dad's the story of my dad.
In our world today, this is needed real bad. My father was a World War II veteran, and he went over there and he fought to free and liberate what was going on because of the Nazis, communism. And I remember him coming home with just enormous amounts of photographs of what was happening in Auschwitz. And, it was just, those pictures are burned into my mind. They had bodies stacked like cordwood. And, it's really horrific what happened. And we're seeing the rise of anti-Semitic behavior in America. This is disturbing to me. My father would roll over at what is happening right now. And I'm kind of just sickened by it. How could we, America, after going through all of that, end up where we are today? So, with that little rant out of our way, there is a lot of things in your book that will help people discover the atrocities that happened during World War II and this Nazi takeover of Europe. what what's the most horrific thing that you outline in your book, Robert?
Well, it's got to be. Well, you bring up so many great points. I hope I can remember to address them all. First thing, 50 million people died in World War II. So, besides the 6 million Jewish people that perished, many were tortured, many were homeless, hurt, of course, financially strapped after the war, PTSD, psychological issues. Not everybody, like your father brought home photos, not everybody could do that. American soldiers were shocked when they liberated some of these death camps and concentration camps. So, one personal thing, and I had to walk away. I started this 6 years ago, and I never would have thought that I'd be fighting my slippery slope went from this to this with this October 7th attack and all these people jumping on the bandwagon. I'm going to preface by saying the good news is that 98, 99% of us, I think, are I don't want to say normal thinking because who's to say what's normal, but people that are interested in peace, their careers, their family, just the simple pleasures of life while we have them because it's short and delicate. And then these terrorists don't appreciate that. And it's another paradox is, as a radiologist, I'm into anatomy and the beauty of the human body and how it functions, even the cell at the cellular level, and even other animals. I'm an animal lover too. So cats, dogs, giraffes, you name it, lizards, you name it. The delicacy of how we are built, the beauty of it. And these people they'll destroy it in seconds. Gunshots and beheadings, and they have no respect for, and that's disturbing too. So the personal part was when my dad's parents, the grandparents I never met, were taken away to Auschwitz near the end of the war in 1944 and dead just about immediately. They were very systematic in the killings, and I had to walk away from the project for like a week. I couldn't. I almost didn't go back to it because it was just it was heart wrenching. It was gut wrenching. So my mom's and my dad's father was a dentist too. So he was a captain on a Red Cross ship in World War I, and he became a dentist. So an obvious threat to mankind is so that they would take him away and kill him just because he was Jewish. My father's, my grandmother, his wife, they were kind people. They gave away freebies, free dental work to the less fortunate back in my dad's hometown of Jur. And the mother was she baked and she made food for. They had some hired help, and she was kind to them and kind to the neighbors. They were super nice people. So, and then my mom's grandfather was a rabbi, another threat to society, and he also perished at Auschwitz. So I don't know that much about his history, except that my mom had a very, very brief 8-10 page memoir where she described that. But my mom talked about it all her life. My mom and dad were history educators all their life. But if you knew me 6 years ago, you would say this guy would never be doing this, that I would never. But they wrote the stories in the 70s as an autobiography about my dad. And they wrote the stories as though, they knew that I would be doing this. And don't you hate it when your parents are right? Because they were right. I'll tell you this history of the book in a minute. But and B, they knew that anti-Semitism would rear its ugly head again. And here we are. We're not even 80, 100 years out from the stories from my dad's book and biography, and we're already going through this. And it's not just anti-Semitism. In 9/11, everybody was an Islamophobe, and after the COVID, the coronavirus that broke out, the people were attacking Asians and indiscriminately. I mean, it was awful, and we're seeing that now. What do I have to do with Gaza? What do you have to do with Gaza? What do Americans have to do with Gaza? It's a terrorist attack, clear and simple. Israel has the right to defend itself. I feel. I mean, I'm not going to get political. I'm really not a political guy. But I feel that a country, if this happened in the United States, a mass murder like let's say Waco, or there's been many of these the brainwashing type of mass suicides. There, Allentown. I can't think of them all, but we also have mass murders too. The Las Vegas, the schools now. It's awful. I mean, that's no better than Hamas attacking all these people. But it's horrendous. I can't imagine how that has to do with people protesting here in the United States. We've got immigration problems. That's another issue. They're storming in. We're seeing what's happening in Europe now, and it's just hard to digest. As long as my government is on my side, on your side, the local police, our military, I'm not going to feel too unsafe. I mean, anybody can come. From what I'm doing, anybody could come. Some crazy could come up to me and say, you got to stop doing it, or they could threaten me, or worse. But here we are. The book's out, and there's nothing you can do about that now. So you're not going to take it off the shelves. Maybe someday it'll be a movie. Some people have said that, and from their mouths to God's ears, because The Adventures, we'll say my dad was a four-time escape artist. We'll go with that. So that's a movie in itself. I mean, plus all the miracles he went through in between. Just it's amazing. So hiding places you wouldn't expect, wearing women's clothing, funny stories. The book's not just all serious. There's no sugarcoating in the book, but there are some humorous parts to it. It's a very and it's the viewpoint of my dad as forced labor camp and as a child and as a medical student and finally escaping as a doctor. So two escapes during Nazi occupied Hungary and two escapes from communist Hungary. And if you want a little more detail, I can, without giving away the book, I can tell you, I can give you little teasers. But here is another teaser. He missed an escape under communist Hungary. He went to the wrong train station. Everybody that made the right trains, that made the train, got arrested by the communists, including my dad's medical school roommate, and it hindered his career. And it certainly wasn't. And so my dad thought he was the unluckiest guy in the world, and it turned out he was extremely lucky that he missed that. And the guy that helped him with the plan to escape helped him again. That was his third escape. And he made it all the way to Austria. He was arguing with an armed Russian soldier about why he should let him into Austria. So he was BSing him about fixing an X-ray machine in one of the hospitals. And he challenged him. He says, "Go ahead, call the administration there, call the mucky mucks at the hospital and see." And the soldier let him go. And my dad made it, but he was so nervous because they met some lady. Then she was, asking a lot of questions. And he and the guy he was traveling with, they changed their mind and turned her back around. And he was back in Budapest. And he was on call the next night, and nobody even knew he was gone. So, and then finally, their last escape was after the Hungarian Revolution in '56. Not a lot of people know. Well, the book's a biography that covers Hungary. It's also a history book that covers Hungary from World War I to the end of the Hungarian Revolution in '56. My mom and dad were frontliners there. Dad doubled down. He was an OBGYN. Finally, he got to go to medical school after World War II. As an allotment, there was a quota. Only 10% of Jews, 10% of the medical school class could be Jewish. But my dad was smart, and another miracle, he met the right connection who knew the dean of the medical school, if you can believe that. So that helped get him in. And but he had to double down in '56 as a trauma surgeon. So the Hungarian Revolution had 3,000 deaths in it, another 3,000 or more injured, and countless refugees. And he's doubled down as a trauma surgeon for 2.5 weeks without sleep. Meanwhile, my mom was a medical student at the time, and she ran the blood banks during the war. And after that was done, and they saw what a mess Budapest was and how the communists had squashed the revolution and became even more hardliner, they decided enough is enough. They weren't great to the Jews either. It wasn't short of corralling them into town squares and putting them on trains and sending them to death camps. The communists weren't great as far as civil rights. The Jews that had survived World War II were often assigned to farms and factories, even the ones that were educated. So they didn't know what to do with them. So and the Jews, like my dad, who escaped, he was an escapee at the time that the war ended. The ones that weren't, the ones that were still in those forced labor camps, were sent to. They were treated as prisoners of war. So even though they were never armed, they never were allowed to hold arms or a gun, and never shot at anyone, but they were still treated. So it was a mess. I mean, things settled down, but the communists turned out to be no better. So in '56, when they escaped, and that was a harrowing story too. They couldn't go the first night. They couldn't go the second night. An unlikely source helped them, a priest. Anti-Semitic remarks all the way to Austria. The guy that helped them, the renegade that helped them escape in the middle of the winter through farms and mud and sludge and Russian lights and planes flying overhead, he was saying anti-Semitic remarks. And the guards that welcomed them in the Austrian border, same thing. And believe me, my mom and dad wanted to argue with them, but it wasn't worth it. They were too close to their goal of finally being in a free land. All my dad wanted to do was practice medicine, make his parents proud, and ultimately be free. And until he escaped communist Hungary, that wasn't going to happen. So enough was enough.
That's a lot to take in, Robert. The big thing, the big thing here is everyone at that point in their life would need help, and we hear about Schindler's List and the individuals helping the Jews escape these atrocities. But yet I hear you say that even those people were kind of anti-Semitic in ways. That just blows my mind that we can have this. And even You know, we hear about Jews taking and doing atrocities to Jews to save their own lives. This is a big, mental health issue. The post traumatic stress from that alone, I don't know how they handled all of this. Let's get back into the Schindler's List type people for a moment. How many people helped your father? He escaped 2 to 4 times. How many people actually helped? Yeah, how many people helped him?
Well, 4 times total. Yeah, 4 times. Yeah, no, definitely. Well, he had to do it on his own the first 2 times. So it was he and his friend Frank from the forced labor camp. One was out in the middle of the mountains, the Carpathian Mountains. They didn't know where they were heading. They thought they were on a death march. My dad was at a hospital at first because he had a foot infection, which so it might have saved his life because it made him stop and think for a few days. And then he had to rejoin. He had to walk to the hospital on a bad foot. He had to walk back to the march on a bad foot, and he escaped in the Carpathian Mountains with his friend Frank with a bad foot in the middle of the winter. Very exciting escape. It's the one that I remember from 30 years ago when I first read the book, but I didn't. It was just a manuscript then, from my dad's autobiography. But um, they had help hiding places. So my dad had to dress as a woman. He had to hide under a bed. He hid in a casino. These people helped him, and some of them hid gold for my dad's father, who anticipated being totally once they were arrested or whatever it was going to be. They knew their house would be ransacked and pillaged, and so he hid things like dental drills and things that he hid in their condo in their apartment were all gone. They were all stolen. But other things that they entrusted to their Christian friends were there for my dad once he found them. There was a Captain Kemeny. He was a local hero. He helped my dad. He helped them get the forged the Wallenberg papers. So which didn't help them at first, but it did help them later down the road. They were very valuable to have those papers that they were excused and not treated as. So there was that. So the doctor. Okay, here's a great line. When before my dad went back to his forced labor camp, the doctor that was supposedly treating him in the hospital was brutal conditions, very no sterility, just a mess, dirty. And they treated the Jewish patients like crap. The doctor said, "Well, it's not going to matter if I treat your foot or not because you're going to be dead soon anyway." If you can believe that, can you imagine your doctor saying that to you? So he had it all along. The message is clear. Schindler was an amazing guy. I mean, he helped hundreds, thousands of people, and there were a lot of people out there like that. Some got away with it. Some used an excuse like his wealth and his prosperity, his status to help the Jewish people work for his factory and talk about a fugazi, talk about faking that all along. So what a great and the people that hid Anne Frank. Nobody knew who Anne Frank was or Schindler, 30, 40, 50 years ago, but they sure do now. And they're wonderful stories, as good as you can pull out of them. So a lot of the people that helped the Jewish people were murdered or killed, the ones that didn't get away with it, the ones that were caught. That's part of that 50 million people, plus disabled people, clowns, rabbis, men of the cloth, LGBTQ, you name it. I mean, anybody who wasn't aligned with the Nazi Party or the Communist Party was, in the former case, killed or tortured or imprisoned, and in the latter case, often tortured, imprisoned. An example of that is when my parents got married. They had the civil ceremony in a crappy building in Budapest, but they also had a secret Jewish wedding that was sponsored by my mom's uncle, who was a surgeon, and a KGB infiltrated into the wedding party and witnessed this. And after all the guests had left and my parents were on their honeymoon, he was arrested by the communists and taken away for over a year, and tortured. And they tried to pin the Wallenberg murder on him, and he wouldn't sign. He wouldn't sign a confession. So another interesting side story. When he came back from that, so he was a broken man. They sent him off to some rural clinic where he wasn't to be heard or seen from, but he was the chief of surgery at the hospital that my dad trained at, and he was very well respected before all that happened. So can you imagine how your life can turn on a dime just like that, just like my dad's? And it's one of the messages in the book that what happened to my dad could happen to you or me or anybody, whether you're Jewish or not. It could be bad neighbor, bad business deal, natural disaster, bad local government, bad federal government, bad foreign government, whatever. The circumstances can change, so we need to enjoy our comforts. And while we do that, take the extra step and help me fight anti-Semitism. Help your fellow men out. Reach out to your fellow man. You know that we're all different, but we're all the same. You know, and that's another lesson I got from my parents is they were very engaging to people. They love learning about other people's cultures, their breeding, their upbringing. They would engage with people, and I try to do that, and even more so now with this battle against hate. So yeah, so there were good people amongst it, and another thing I always say is it's always one guy who ruins it for everybody. You know, most of us are peaceful people. You know, we're not going to just start shooting at people or stabbing or beheading people. It's just not. It's not in our. It's not how we. It's not how I was raised anyway, and most of us I think the same way. But yeah, I mean that's the thing, and then just we got to enjoy each other. It's the 1%. It's the less than 1% that ruins it. You know, the Hitlers, the Pol Pots, the Osama bin Ladens. Whereas we should be following people like Gandhi and Moses and MLK. And in some cases, it was too late before they got their they were murdered. Because they wanted peace, they were murdered, and that's I think that's a dreadful story just in itself. People like MLK and Gandhi and Moses got his message across, but he couldn't even reap the benefits of all the work he had done for God because of some minor malfeasance or whatever God thought was. So he didn't even get to cross into the Holy Land, but he sure did a lot for the Jewish people and the Israelis back in Exodus. So, and really the fight between, I mean, if you're going to talk about a fight between two groups, it goes back to the Old Testament, back to Exodus. But at least Israel and Egypt now are friends, and Israel has become friends with more Arab nations. One exception, obviously, is Iran. And then obviously Iran's got its outposts, its sympathizers in different countries, and those countries ruin it and including Gaza. I mean, it's Gaza's going to become Israel, and it's going to be a mess for that. I have no idea what's going to happen, but as long as Netanyahu's in charge, I don't think he's going to let it be an independent nation again. He's not going to let that happen, if he can help it. So very sad times. So things are different. The way people, and another sad thing is how people find different ways to torture each other, to be nasty to each other, to cheat each other, to kill. There's just different way. Back in the 50s, back in the 40s, when my dad was in forced labor camp, the things they did to torture them, they beat them, they urinated on them, they made them sit, walk up and down hills like in a frog position. I've never tried that. I mean, brutally hard. Hang people by their thumbs on trains or whatever for hours at a time. And we go. Now it's different forms of torture, mental and physical. So really sad. It's unacceptable. And for my story here is it's just one of many. And I'm proud of my parents. I'm proud of my dad, how he got through it, how they educated people about history and the Holocaust, and how he managed to have a successful career without showing many signs of PTSD. He would mention the war when he was having a fight with me and talking about how we were spoiled Americans and this and that. And he would say, you should see what the forced labor camp was. And my dad was raised as, my dad's parents struggled for a while too, and he was raised, they finally got established by the time my dad was born and he was a kid. So he was raised kind of a spoiled child. And you would never think that he would survive a forced labor camp like he did. But a story that I didn't know, my dad used to get beaten by his father when he was, if he wasn't cutting his grades or if he was late coming home, that kind of thing. So I guess he got the discipline in that sense. There was this overcompensation that his father had to feel because they were Jewish. They couldn't just do as well as everybody else as a dentist or a doctor. They had to go above and beyond. And I think that was part of that. And learned helplessness. So people tell you you're no good for long enough, whether you're Jewish or African American or whatever, then you start to believe it. So but my dad wouldn't have any part of it, and neither did his father. So they accepted their fates, but my dad sure didn't.
As far as with Israel, it was unfortunate. And my take on it is if you walk up to a beehive and you slap the beehive, expect a swarm of bees to slap you back. And that's really the take on Israel has the right to defend itself. And I want to really make it understood that all of these protesters that are protesting Israel right now, homosexuals for Gaza and a bunch of these women that are up there do you know what you're protesting for? If you were over in Gaza, you would be killed. And that's the unfortunate thing that we are dealing with here in America. And my big question is, how is that creeping in, Robert? Is it through our school systems? Because I hear professors are, leaning in that direction, but I think it's more than that. What's your take on that?
That could be part of it. I mean, part of it is what you learn from home. If you don't have a good upbringing at home, if you're not educated at home, then you're gonna learn you know what you learn. So I think education starts at home. You bring up a good point. I'd like my book to be taught in the classroom. Yes, I've heard of professors that are offline. That unfortunately now they're being called out. Some of them are being fired. Some are being let go, expelled from their positions because they are teaching. They're changing history. A lot of these kids, like you say, they weren't even old enough to know 911. Some of them weren't even born yet when 911 happened, and they denied 911 like they denied the Holocaust. So, guys, 911 was American targets. It wasn't Jewish targets. Jews died, Muslims died, Christians, Asians, countless costs, health issues, chronic health issues from the attacks, and costs of travel. Now, I mean, so American targets, not just. And if you look at history, this October 7th wasn't the only thing. We can go back to the Lockerbie, Scotland air bombing, the bombing of the plane over Lockerbie, the Olympics in 1972, the massacre of the Israeli athletes, so many, the Six Day War, the Yom Kippur War, on and on. And I love the swarm of bees analogy because I have seen that comic, that illustration with the swarm of bees with the Israeli flag. I've seen that, and it's so true. What else was going to say? So, and these people, you're right. Hamas wouldn't think of anything of killing these people. First of all, women in some countries, not Israel, that are Arabic, aren't able to be educated. I mean, Afghanistan used to be that way, under the Taliban. So I have no idea what the situation is now over there. But Israel is the one country where Arabic women can be educated, and it's the laws are not they're not so stringent. But Hamas guys, the people that are Hamas and would not be accepted by the Nazis. So people that laud Hitler and the Nazis for killing Jews, you guys are next. They don't understand that either. So it's another problem that they don't know the difference. They don't know the history. So they get the history. Another thing is social media. Like for me, social media is great because we have this. We share the stories. This is all I'm doing. This is my charge. But social media has false. It's got a lot of false information on it, unfortunately. So if you really want to look up history, go look it up in a book, or you find out the true history of what happened. Don't take the books off the shelves. Don't deny it. Don't try to change it. You can't. History happened. It's not going to change. So very sad. And some people just have a herd mentality. Some people are bored. I don't know what it is. I mean, some people are just looking for something to do. How can a student at Columbia protest? You know what people would give to have a education at Harvard or Columbia, Yale, and these kids are out there, they're blowing their ride. I mean, and I can't stand that because I didn't get into Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and Stanford, and I got my rejection letters all the same day. Didn't matter. I ended up being successful, thank God, and went to Tufts, which was a good school, and very grateful for that. Plus Michigan, which was a great medical school, but and finally got to Yale. The end of my training, which was really redemption for me. But these kids, when they don't appreciate, you don't belong there. So I'm glad they're expelling kids finally. They took too long. I mean, that's another sign of intolerance to me is they took way too long. Maybe the police and the mayors and the deans of universities took way too long, and so it's a problem. I mean, the longer it lingers, hopefully it slowly quiets down. I mean, it's going to take longer now because of everything that's happened, and I still see it, but. Um, I don't know. We'll see. Muslims that I have a lot of friends that are Muslim too, by the way, and Christian and Jewish and Asian. So I'm like my parents. I don't. A good person's a good person, and at 61 now, I can read a good person in a couple of minutes. I'm not gonna, And my dad was the same way. Accountability is a big word. He would, Jewish or not, somebody who created malfeasance, he called them out for it, Jewish or not. In fact, again, we were talking about this overcompensation, even more so because they were Jewish and say. It makes us all look bad. Just because if somebody is already a Jew hater and they see somebody that robs or steals or kills, then it fuels the fire.
Yeah. Blessed are the peacekeepers. It says they will be the children of God. And this is the essence of life, peace. Life is peaceful, not chaos. Chaos is of another realm, and we don't want to be part of that. It's just alarming to me what's going on. So, Robert, how do we take steps towards bringing peace back and fighting anti-Semitism in our world?
Well, the people that are get arrested for hate crimes, these kids that are expelled, prisoners in some, prisoners in some cases, and of course the general classroom need to read books like mine and listen to what we have to say. They don't have to watch all my podcasts, but one or two would do it. There are many good books besides mine about the Holocaust and anti-Semitism, and I think those people, the perpetrators that are arrested or caught, they should have mandatory training. I think mandatory education, whether it's a speech, which is I got a great 15-minute, 20-minute speech, book presentation, which I do, podcasts like this. It's just one person at a time, and I need help. Fighting anti-Semitism I can't do by myself, so I will do as many of these as I can. I don't say no to book presentations. I've done 20 TV interviews. I've done over 30 presentations, and the podcasts are piling up and write a review of the book if you actually read the book and you like it. Invite me to do a talk or a presentation or a podcast in your little neck of the world, your corner of the world, and that'll help inform more people about what the dark world is really like. So, and it's not just a story about the Holocaust, and I hate saying that word "just" because all these great books from my publisher, Amsterdam Publishers, they've got these different viewpoints and different factions related to the Holocaust. Mine extends into communist Hungary. Some are about food, some are about music, but the messages are there. The message is important, and this is what I do. It just educate. So through social media, it's hard to wake up every day sometimes and say, people don't care about anti-Semitism because it doesn't affect them, and that's like anything else. I mean, Asian people getting attacked after COVID is like that. That affects me because it's upsetting because that can come right back to bounce and do the same thing here, which is what happened. It's halfway across the world, Israel, and they're protesting in Canada, in the U.S. It's appalling. It's unacceptable. So my little corner of it is talk to you, talk to your friends, your followers, talk to the next guy's friends and followers, and hopefully one or two read the book and they say, Rob, come on out and give us a talk. I think we'll get more people involved. Great experience. My assistant was Muslim, and we did a book presentation for a friend. One of my best friends from ninth grade, freshman year in high school, is the Greek Orthodox Church priest. So he invites me. We sold out all the books, about 40 books. My assistant's Muslim, who's one of my best friends from freshman year in college, and I happened to be there visiting him with a couple other college buddies. And we did a book presentation for a room full of Greek Orthodox families, and it was wonderful. There was a lot of kids there. The message was clear, and that was a great experience. And I could use more like that. I mean, another thing is the apathy of the Jewish people. Sometimes, I mean, not everybody, but and you're like you said, the anti-Semites that helped the Jews in Hungary. Most of the people that helped my dad that were Christian were not anti-Semitic. So I don't want to give that message. This is just a handful of people in his along the path that he just happens to remember. So. Yeah, more of those talks are really key, and this is what I do. So I don't know how else to answer that other than say just kind of stay with the ride and stay with it. But I know what I was going to say was it doesn't affect them, but if people saw caravans of Nazi swastika laden armored tanks and trucks going through the streets with people marching with those same with whatever. Let's say it's the Palestinian flag or whatever, the red, green, and black, whatever that is, marching in the streets and taking control. I don't care if you're Jewish, Christian, even Muslim. I'd be scared. That would affect me. So I'm trying to educate people before that happens. Before we're under Sharia law. This is the United States. This isn't there. It's you come here. You got to abide by our laws, not the other way around. Learn our language. Get your cards. Get your house in order and work and contribute. Don't destroy. Don't.
That's right. Yeah, that's Good. We often say it doesn't affect us, but I can tell you 100% it does affect us. My father came home post traumatic stress, became an alcoholic, got divorced, had it destroyed our family. And now I'm seeing families of my siblings being destroyed because of the alcoholism and the hatred. Hatred, there is no place for hate in our world. And if you're around hate, stand up to it and address it, because that's the only way to blot it out. Hate will never cause love.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear about your father. And it's funny, my mom and dad, my dad could have gone to the bottle and been a chronic smoker and drugs, and he didn't buy into that. Neither did my mom. It's amazing. Uh, I'm so impressed with that because a lot of people do. PTSD. We always think of the Vietnam War too. You know, these poor guys that were in this war. We were undermanned, and we had no idea why we were there. I know why we were there. Same as Korea, but we were undermanned, underfunded. The equipment was less than adequate. So, you know, and we hear about PTSD from those too, but World War II not so much. But a lot of the survivors have perished already now. So, but I never would have thought that. Yeah, Americans that helped in the Asia Pacific and in Europe that you don't even think about that because we won the war. So you think, oh, we won, everybody's good, but not when you see your buddies getting killed next to you, or you see uh, emaciated people and emaciated bodies all piled up, like you said, and dead babies that have been smashed. And you know, you talk about these photographs, and I've seen plenty of them. And it's not, you know, I don't live to watch people suffer, and and I try not to post some of these on social media because these are shock value pictures. And I guess when I close out this campaign, if I ever do, then I'm going to post some of them and say, this is what we're trying to avoid. And you know, because I've been ridiculed, I've been called self-serving and self-promoting, and I've been bilked, I've been, you know, ridiculed, I've been argued with, and, you know, and I try to weave through that. And fortunately, that comes few and far between, and it tends to come in streaks. But it's part of the process. And I ask myself, well, why am I engulfing myself in all this misery when I'm in Florida and I could be on the golf course or sitting out at the beach having a cocktail or doing something that's more fun. And believe me, I've got my good times too, but it's difficult to do that and give the same message every day, but doing it in a different way. But I'm managing to. So I think great podcasts like this and good artwork, great reviews we've gotten over the years, over the last year and change, and that keeps me going. Another thing is I just got invited for the second time to go to the United States Holocaust Museum for a book signing, which I can't tell you what an honor that is. I mean, just to have your book on the shelves there is one thing, right? Then they invited me to do a book signing, which went super well. And now I've been invited. I'm going back in October. And there's nothing like sitting there talking to kids and families from all over the country, all over the world, in just 3 hours, 6 hours. I met all these people, Australia and England and Germany, and all over the U.S. and with the kids, and they're buying 2 or 3 books, and we're talking about genocide, and we're talking about hate, and that's what I'm doing. And like I said, I want the book to be taught in the classroom. That is so gratifying that I could do that every day, and you wouldn't even have to pay me as long as I could afford to live in a nearby hotel or something or an apartment in D.C. I could do that every day. That's what it's about, and it's not about the money for me because I do need to sell a lot of books to break even because I've spent a lot of time and money on this project um, and given up a lot of radiology time for it. But it's a good. I wouldn't do it any other way. I wouldn't change a thing. This is much more important to me now. And like I said, if you knew me 6 years ago, you'd say this guy. I had Holocaust burnout from my mom, from all the talks and the things, and unreal. But the book called out to me like Superman's kryptonite. That's my book was written in the 70s. It's an autobiography, paper and pencil, typewriter to computer to disc. Dad dies in 97, unfortunately. Mom in 2016. Historian friend hands me the disc. I retired for a year after taking care of my mom's affairs. And then a friend asked me, well, we're short of radiologists. Can you help us out Wednesdays and Thursdays? So that brought me to the disc. So we've got a left screen, right screen. The left is the patient list. The right screen are the images. And between cases, I loaded up my dad's autobiography and dictated it as a biography on the right screen, almost word for word, except it was, third person instead of first person. Tried to query agents and publishers, didn't do that well. We're going to self-publish, but then I found my co-author Janice, who really made the book special. She's really turned the book into a wonderful biography, and twists and turns, and parallel stories, converging stories, conversations, letters to and from home. Did her homework on the culture, the food, and the way my dad described the story in the 70s, it was like that it happened the previous day. So the smells, the sounds, the way the tablecloth was, the way the table was set, the fear that he had during his escapes, the what was going on in his mind and his heart at the moment, all recorded. So it was easy to do as far as that. The information was all there. Plus his valid history, which we had to, we verified the history too. I did a little bit, then Janice did, and then we hired, the professors that did the testimonials verified the history or not, or made corrections, and then we hired a professional historian, Peter Black, who's retired from the U.S. Holocaust Museum, and we had him review the book and verify the history, and we made the changes. So it is a history book. Besides being an adventure, of course, my dad's escapes plus the miracles on the run, and a legacy, the trials and tribulations of my dad's family and parents and what they went through, and why. And the message was clear from the beginning. That's why I did it too. Like, this thing cannot sit here on a disc on a computer screen. It's got to be shared, because the messages were clear from page one. And I guess this is my charge. This is I'm my dad's messenger. I've been called that. That made my day. Somebody said, "You're your dad's messenger." So I like to be everybody's messenger. So all Jews should go to Israel. I say everybody should go to Israel. I mean, it's the most tolerant. I was there last year, almost a year before the attacks happened. I never felt safer. And we did mosques, we did churches, we did synagogues. My group from Tufts were all a big mix. We had a professor who was Muslim, a lovely professor and his wife at the Fletcher School. More Christians than Jews, and we did more Christian sites than Jewish sites, and it didn't matter. It was so wonderful. It was just a great trip. Food was amazing. The people were amazing. Soldiers all around, armed kids that are 20 years old, 21 years old. And I never felt, I didn't want to come back. And I love Florida. I live here. It's a great state. It's a great area. And I didn't want to come back. So I think everybody should go to Israel and see what it's about, see what the Western Wall is, see what the mosques look like, listen to these calls for prayer, because it's out there, and it's a very, very, it should be a peaceful country. And there's always somebody out there that just wants to, turn the ball over, who wants to shake things up. And here we go again.
Yeah, that's right. Here we go again. And that's a big major part of why I enjoyed having you today, is there are so many that eyewitness accounts on what happened over in Europe during World War II, and most of them are gone. So recording this history is so important. If we forget this history, it's bound to repeat it. And here we are tearing down memorials and statues and things to remind us of the atrocities that occurred in our life. It's time for people to wake up. Is there anything that you would like to add to our conversation today that you feel is important?
I love what you say about witnesses, because, first of all, another miracle was Muslims, but an old lady found him a few months later and said she recognized Irvin, and she was an eyewitness at Auschwitz and told him exactly what happened to his mom and dad. And to be able to do that and survive and retell the story back to my father, it's unbelievable. So there's that, and other stories like it, so unbelievable, that thing as well. And the witnesses in, let's say, the shooting at the Danube at the end of World War II, where the famous shoes along the Danube River. It's a very famous story. It's a very sad story at the end of World War II. It's the exact opposite of what happened with Schindler's people. They had the armed guards, and Schindler just flat out said, "You can leave peacefully, or you can make trouble." And what did they do? They left. Well, it didn't work that way for these poor people in Budapest. And your witnesses, there was no social media, there were no cell phones, no police around. The police were your enemies, and the witness was the next victim. So, and same with these mass executions, like in Ukraine in 1941. Very disturbing photos from that time period. The witness, any witness was the next victim. So there were no. But what the witnesses, like the Nazis, took a lot of photos. Like you said, they recorded a lot of stuff, and they sent it home to their families, almost proudly, which is it's disgusting. It's sickening. Just like I've been reading about this priest, this reverend that loves Israel, and he's talking about the October 7th attacks, and he was over there and he was watching a film on it and saying how maniacal these people were while they were butchering everybody and kidnapping them and raping them. And that's even they're actually enjoying. I want to be convinced that many Nazis and many soldiers were taken for following orders. If you don't follow orders, you die, and that's a sad thing. But you still have your sadists that you've been doing this so long that you buy into it. So it's important that you mention witnesses, and they just didn't have them. There was no cell phone and no 911 and everything that we have now. It's amazing what the difference was. Just isolated people that were hated by their own government and their own police, and you're dead. You're Jewish. You're screwed. And that's what I'm fighting now. And hopefully my grandkids too. I've got two-step daughters and three-step grandkids. They're all great. Two have already been to the Holocaust Museum and sent pictures of them holding the book and told the staff about me. And that's so heartwarming that I can't tell you. My 10% of my author proceeds are going to the Holocaust Museum in perpetuity. That's from my mom and my dad. That's me giving back to the Jewish faith. And hopefully it ends up being a big sum down the road. And hopefully the kids are a part of that too, the grandkids. And I love their tolerance. They're great kids. Some are in New England, some are in Virginia Beach, West Virginia. And we stay in touch. They visited me down in Florida too. And it's important that these kids keep the messages going. We'll start with our own family, and we hope that other families take it on too. So I would like to show a picture of my book and where you can buy the book. All right, so the book is called, put a drum roll, please. Not a Real Enemy, the true story of a Hungarian Jewish man's fight for freedom. Sorry about the reflection. That's no optical illusion. It's won 4 awards, which I still don't know what to do with that. I got to thank my team. It's another message out of the book. Use a team, get help. Don't try to go it alone. I've at expense, but time, but worthwhile, because I didn't want anything to be shoddy work. Even the book cover, everybody says is so amazing. That was a Croatian, and he was a bargain. But he's from Eastern Europe, and he loved the story. It hit him, so he did a great book cover. The awards, to me, it means that important people that read, that know good literature, thought that this was, and they appreciate the importance of the work. So that's what it means to me. But if the book ultimately doesn't help me fight anti-Semitism, then the awards don't mean anything to me. So there's that. But Not a Real Enemy, if you Google Not a Real Enemy, the true story of a Hungarian Jewish man's fight for freedom, or you Google me, Robert J. Wolf, MD, you'll find the book. I've got a website, robertjwolfmd.com. It's got a little bit more. It got a lot of podcasts, TV interviews, and more about the Hungarian Revolution and World War II in the eyes of Hungary. You can get the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, online, or you can go to the store and ask. It is on the shelves at many Barnes & Noble stores, which is nice. Walmart online, Tufts University, my alma mater. I got a nice review from Dr. Saul Gittleman, who was the provost at Tufts. He's retired now, wrote a great review. Where else? The Holocaust Museum in D.C., of course, and the one in Illinois, Michigan, the Zeckelman Center in Michigan, and also the Long Island, the Holocaust Museum and Tolerance Center, where I am scheduled to do a presentation in March. So that's another honor. And hopefully a lot more of those to come. And hopefully with the audiences of influential people. Believe me, I've pitched Adrian Brody, and I've pitched Bob Kraft, and I've pitched, and I hate the word pitch, because I know you're kind of trying to end this, but queried, I'll say. Who else? Natasha Leone, a Hungarian Jew, and it's hard. I've got more on my list, like Adam Sandler. He's just north of me in Boca. He's a comedian, but he loves Israel, and it's worth a shot. It's who else? Spielberg. They sent me back a nice letter with the book. Spielberg's done. He's done his, he did the Shoah movie, which my mom was in, and of course Schindler, and it's a heartfelt project, but for legal reasons, and actually the movie industry right now is tough, is from what I'm hearing. So I have reached out to these long shots, but in the end, it's got to be the local people, the local synagogues, the local museums, churches, libraries. My hometown in Michigan's been great. They're still helping me out, and on and on and on. So. Not a Real Enemy. It's at the Holocaust Museums, Amazon, Barnes Noble, and you can Google Not a Real Enemy or Robert J. Wolf, MD, and please reach out. Let's talk about the book. Talk about the stories, the subject matter. Amazon. You could do that, or just go if you're on social media. I'm on all the social media too. So Robert J. Wolf, MD. I'm Rob Wolf on Facebook, but I'm maxed out on friends. So, but I have a Not a Real Enemy by Robert Wolf is my Facebook, sorry, Meta business page. So, but I'm also on X, formerly Twitter. I'm active every day with the book and sometimes just other stuff just to get my mind off it: music, sports, food, travel. But I'm also LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. It's a very useful tool. It's a great connection for me. Robert J. Wolf, MD, and I'm on Instagram too. So that's enough. Believe me, it's a lot of work. I've got a Google business page that an assistant has helped me with that. I don't even know where that is or how to find it, but I've had help with the website. Mark, a good friend of mine, does a great job with the website, and he's been on this journey with me since we started. He's the one who got me into social media, got the website going, and he's still working with me sometimes. He's an author himself and a great guy, but busy too. So, and I have a YouTube channel too. So Robert J. Wolf, MD, check it out. I've got this will probably be on the YouTube channels when it's been released, and we've got at least 30 videos on there and counting. So we're busy, and the message is there. And I don't expect people to watch every video, one or two or parts of it. Just as long as you get the gist of what we're doing, or read the book and share with people. That's the bottom line. So.
Yep. Yeah, I'll share all of those social medias, your website, how to contact you. It's fascinating what you're doing and so needed in our world. We really need to spread this message. It's one of the most important messages of our day and our time because we don't want a repeat of what occurred just less than 100 years. It's crazy. So, Robert, thank you so much for sharing your story and all of your information with us here on the Dead America podcast today.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and great meeting you too. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. If you found this podcast enlightening, entertaining, educational in any way, please share, like, subscribe, and join us right back here next week for another great episode of Dead America Podcast. I'm Ed Waters, your host. Enjoy your afternoon, wherever you may be.